Hello everyone, I'm Douglas Moon. I review fragrances here on my channel and you are all welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hamra by Lattafa, but I'm not going to just be reviewing this. As you can maybe see over there in the corner, I'm going to be comparing it against its other versions, Qahwa and Dukhan. Again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this properly, and I'm sorry that if that offends anybody, I'm not trying to. But I will go ahead and say ahead of time, these are definitely not the type of things I normally review. During my live streams, I will discuss dupes and cheapies and things of the lower price point. And I don't like using this terminology, Middle Eastern perfumery, because some of my favorite houses like Amouage and so forth are luxury houses from the Middle East. But technically a lot of people these days, thanks to TikTok and other people who are like bought and sold to push fragrances on you that are not most of the time very good quality. And I don't like that kind of dishonesty. Again, you're hearing me complaining. I don't really care. I'm talking about these. You guys want to hear about these, and I'm just letting you know now. Nobody sends me these. Nobody pays me for these. And even if somebody did send me things for free, and this is the reason why a lot of companies don't, I'm always going to say exactly what I think about them, because you're spending your hard-earned money. You're being impulse pushed into your impulse buying to buy just whatever. So do you need all three of these? Do you need any of them? That's kind of what I want to talk about here. This is no hate on Lattafa, but I think that a little bit of hate. They are constantly just paint by numbers, pushing stuff out, and not all of it, if even most of it's very great or worth having, but some of them are good. So with me just whining and complaining and putting my thoughts out there is what I do here on my channel. I give my honest thoughts. With all that out of the way, a lot of people already know these are cheaper. Most of these in US dollars are roughly around $30 to $40. You can get them on Amazon, lots of other places. I got them from the website, Lattafa, you can get them from there. But it wouldn't show you, depending on how you're looking at the website, US dollars or wherever you're from. So if you do change it though, most of them are going to come around $35. With that being said, they do have 3 different versions. I think there might be a 4th one in the works. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really keep up with you youngsters, new things that are constantly popping out. It's just not my tastes. But a lot of people want to assume, because of the bottle style, this is supposed to be a dupe of Angel Share by Kilian. Now, just a hot news flash, this is a very expensive fragrance. Not the most natural smelling fragrance. Definitely has a little bit overly synthetic-y feel, blended with the naturals in a way more than I would like it to be a little more natural, but I'm just being picky. But this definitely is not one that I love. I don't ever wear this. I think it was very well made, but I think it's overpriced, and it's way too syrupy for me. I mean, you know, this is what it is. But it is absolutely not being duped over here because of the colorants and the bottle style. I get why people think that, but if you are really looking for something that's very much like this, excessively syrupy and very close to it, Kismet's Magic used to be Angel, I think, but now Kismet Magic, Kismet. That's like the closest thing I found to this, and even then I just don't like it. That's not for me. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the notes real fast, and then just kind of compare and contrast. Sorry for that loud vehicle that just rode by outside, if you guys could hear it. So again, the price range, $35 to $40 for pretty much any of these. And it says, this one's the first one that came out, the original Latafa Hamra. So it says at top notes, actually I'll read the marketing. I normally don't do this, but I'll do it right now. Product information. Hamra by Lattafa Perfumes is an aromatic, spicy fragrance for men and women. I like unisex things. This is a new fragrance. Hamra was launched in 2022. The top notes are cinnamon, nutmeg, and bergamot. Middle notes are dates, praline, tuberose, mahoni. I don't know how to say that word. Mahonial. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm just having fun. Somebody tried to trash me one time in my comments because I mispronounced the word. I was like, who cares? We're just having fun here. The base notes are vanilla, tonka bean, amberwood, myrrh, benzoin, and akigala wood. I don't know if you guys know what all that is, but I'll go ahead and tell you this. While I do not like most of everything that comes from this house, that's just me, there's some that I really enjoy. His Confession, there's other things. This one, I don't wear it because it's not fall just yet, but the notes were actually very well blended in this. I was very surprised when I smelled this for the first time, and it's definitely not at all like Angel Share by Kilian. Kind of hard to tell you exactly what this kind of reminds me of. In ways, it's like a less luxurious version, but still not bad version of maybe Ojan by Parfums de Marly, something like that. If you ever got a chance to smell that, the atomizer, I always like to show you guys this, like a lot of good channels do. Not the craziest thing in the world. Room filling right away though. The way, it's interesting, the way they did the date profile with the cinnamon and everything else coming through. You really mostly get dates and cinnamon and just a sweet, fruity cinnamon blend. Almost like an apple pie, but there's no apple there. But the benzoin and everything, it's very fresh. It's gourmandy, but very fresh at the same time. I would think of this as Ojin with Lamal elixir and like a little bit more freshness almost as well, like a spice bomby type of vibe, which is all kind of blended up together. I know it sounds very similar. Honestly though, I do think they knocked this one out of the park. It's really well done. It does have moderately good performance. Nothing like absolutely monstrous. These are all eau de parfums and made in the UAE. Nothing that it fills the room. It's going to have really good projection, really good sillage for a decent period of time from so far my own experience. Let me put a little bit on the skin here. It's also nice because it's not, even with a good puddle that you put on your arm, very oily, so you can see it's highly concentrated overall. So it's definitely not bad quality. From what I can see, it was filtered very well. I know a lot of you might not think that's very important, but sometimes when you order these things from certain companies, again, not trying to trash anybody at all in particular, but not everything has been given the best quality control. This company at least seems to do pretty decent with that. And this one, not bad. So I will say probably, compared to a lot of their other work, just being honest, I will give this about an 8.5 out of 10. It's not my favorite, but it is refreshing, it is sweet, and it's not too sweet. Some people might think so, but I really do like this one. I think it's a good start. I don't know, I definitely don't think you should have all three of these. I'm going to go ahead and say that ahead of time if you was to get any of these. And I'm going to move on now to Latafa Hamra Kawa. So for quite a while, this was my favorite of the bunch. It might still be that case. So I'm going to read marketing for this one as well. Same price range, like I said, eau de parfum as well. But it says, Hamra Kawa by Lattafa came out for men and women as well in 2023, so just a year later. Cinnamon, cardamom, and ginger at the top. Middle notes praline, candied fruits, and white flowers. The base notes coffee, vanilla tonka bean, and benzoin and musk. So definitely already similar, but definitely different over the breakthrough. You can already tell as soon as you start to smell it at the top. Let me spray a little. Same atomizer, nothing crazy. And I know a lot of you guys might be thinking, well, it's filling up a room, so aren't you going to get a little blended together with them all? And that does happen, but the coffee with the spice, this one, I think this one's personally my favorite. I really love this one. It is beautiful, it's sweet, and again, fantastic performance. So I would say probably, and again, my skin doesn't do extremely well with holding on to things, but, and again, now not everything from this house lasts as much as you would like it to, but the price range is, you can't complain. But I will say that this one and the other one so far has given me in the past a trial, because I have I haven't mentioned this yet, I should have already done this. Again, I'm not a professional, just have fun. But I love fragrances, hopefully you do too. And I just like to be honest here, so if you don't like someone who rambles and enjoys himself, this is not the channel for you, and it's okay, because there's lots of other channels that will tell you what you want to hear. But, again, not a trashing video. I do a rule of 3 on my channel, so I wear things usually I wear things at least 3 different occasions, so that I can give my honest thoughts about its performance and so forth. Only once so far has that not happened, but there's a reason for that. But I will say, you're going to get anywhere between, depending on what you're doing that day, 6 to upwards. I have had upwards of 10 hours of longevity. When I say that, I mean to the skin. You know, it's not radiating off of you. Now this will stick to your clothes like crazy, but on the skin, like, it will come off. If you put it on your shirt, it's going to keep coming off all day, obviously. But on the skin, high oil concentration. That means it's not bleeding off of you, and it will stick to you. It's not a parfum, but it's very oily for an eau de parfum. But I will say, on me, it sticks, it goes. It's not absolutely radiating like crazy off of you the entire day. But if you put it on the pulse points and stuff, I do get like a good, at least about a good 6 to maybe 8 hours of noticeability. Not like, again, crazy nothing, but still noticeable. And again, people always want to ask, does it get compliments? Does it get compliments? Any channel who's telling you everything gets compliments is full of crap. Most of the time, people aren't really coming up to you telling you smell good, but sometimes they will. And I will say, the original, when I was around my friends at work and stuff, they liked it, especially the ladies. A few of them said something. This one got noticed once, but again, it is what it is. Not a compliments game, but this is my favorite one of the bunch so far. So I'm gonna give this one, to be fair, I'll give this one about a 9 out of 10. I really do like this one. I think it's fantastic. It's not my style. Neither of them really are. Like, I want you to understand that with perfumery, we should be able to really enjoy something without it having to be for us. You should be able to recognize, hey, this is pretty decent. Maybe this was made very well. Maybe this is luxurious, high quality. Maybe not. Maybe it's lower, but still fantastic. Maybe I like it. I don't wear these because they're not quite my style. Maybe this year I'll try it out a little bit more during the colder seasons. This is all for colder seasons, although you can wear it what you want, when you want. But the Qahwa, the Qahwa Hamra Kawa by Lattafa is my personal favorite, and I give it a 9 out of 10. The performance is pretty great for what it is, for the price you pay especially. So kind of hard to beat. Again, I'm not normally a dupes and cheapies person. I will do more videos talking about those in the future, but I like just to take the things that I really love, which is expensive doesn't always mean great, but between designer companies in the $100 to $150 range, all the way up to niche fragrances and Xerjoss and Amouages and Maison France, all these different ones are ones that I personally really like to talk about because anybody can kind of buy these and smell them. But I want to help to try to save you guys money, at least give you my honest thoughts, remembering that perfumery is subjective. But this one, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. And I'll say this during a live stream coming up soon, which is going to be way before I post this, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But I will go ahead and say this now. I take back what I've said about this one. This is the newest one. This is Dukhan. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. If not, you know, it is what it is. It says Dukhan, meaning smoke, is deeply rooted in Middle Eastern heritage and the ritual of burning perfume. Ethereal, hypnotic, Hamra Dukan captures the allure of rising smoke with, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so again, I don't care for all this stuff. So pimento, tobacco, and amber at the top creates the exudes of raw energy, blah, 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 blah. So it says mandarin, pimento, and smoked spices at the top. Cistus, orange flower, incense, and patchouli. In the middle, tobacco, amber, tonka bean, benzoin, and praline. So I do take back what I said about this one because I was telling people it's completely stupid to get this. You shouldn't buy this because with the fact that we already have so many out. At first, when I got my nose on this, I kind of, I don't know what mood I was in, and I tried this multiple times. It just kept making me think of the original. Yes, there's differences, but on the dry down, it kind of kept taking me back to the original. And I don't know, maybe I was just kind of overdone with the fact that this was getting a lot of hype at the time on TikTok. By the time I'm airing this, this has already been hyped up and blown over. So maybe nobody's even going to watch this. I don't know. But I will say that I do actually enjoy this one now. Again, same price range as the other ones, same performance as the rest of them. So you're going to get good enough performance for what you pay for this. But I did not like this at first. Some of the note qualities just felt a little too close to the original somehow, even though there are different notes to an extent almost completely. But I just felt it was pointless. There's too many. Come up with something different. Same bottles, just make an entire range. I was just kind of being whiny about it. And I've dumped on this a lot. And I believe that we should be open about changing our minds. I believe that I want to represent that, at least, that we should be able to say, hey, you know, I felt this way. Maybe I was a little too harsh, but I've taken it in a little bit. But I actually like this one. I don't like it enough to take the place of Qahwa, which I definitely like more. The coffee notes just make me happy in a way that it does, but the incensey with the pimento and everything, I don't know what this is maybe trying to be, if it's trying to copy anything, I'm not sure. But I honestly can say the Dukhan, it's nice. Should you have all three? Absolutely not. I mean, again, it's up to you, but you shouldn't just be buying stuff just to buy them or just to have them in a collection. I don't promote that. I don't promote blind buying, none of that crap. I think you should sample stuff, find out what type of perfumery is for you, read notes. Again, you can't always guess. Obviously, it's not that easy, but buy samples if you can. With cheaper stuff, I guess it's not so simple. Maybe if you buy these and then if you don't like them, resell them. But don't just have stuff just to have them. I'm a fragrance reviewer. That's what I do. That's why I have the collection that I have. But I don't just want people to just have stuff just to have it. So, again, you don't need all three, but they do have differences. They're not exactly the same. I would say, to an extent, Qahwa and the original Hamra are maybe, they're different, but they're maybe close enough that it wouldn't be necessarily worth it to have both if you wanted to at least have two of these. Perhaps one of the first two, and then this one. It's your choice if you're going to have them. Again, you don't have to have any of these. But if you're into a good wintertime, cheaper, everyday fragrance, and you're into something more cinnamon or maybe perhaps coffee, so definitely Qahwa if you're looking for something with some more bright, but yet still got the undertone density of coffee notes going through it. If you want the original, it's got that strong date notes, the fruit notes, similar to like a fig quality, but still coming off strong with the cinnamon notes at the top and everything, if you want that. So, and then at last place, if you want that pimento with the incense, just more of a enriched depth. This one's definitely taken a special place for me, and I actually do like this one more than the original Hamra now. So I think I'm gonna give the original Qahwa, I'm gonna keep Qahwa at 9. I'm gonna give the original Hamra an 8. This is about an 8.5 for me. So again, none of which really stuff that I kind of gravitate towards. That's okay, but I can see there's a place for these. So just want to throw that out there. I do take back some of the stuff that I've been harsh about this one in the past, but it's still not the greatest thing ever. There's lots of other stuff that I personally like or would wear, but everybody likes their own thing. So again, the original Hamra, for what it's worth, because again, all their performance is pretty decent, and again, their price range is pretty great for what it's worth. So I'm going to say the original Hamra an 8. Great, not my style necessarily, a little too sweet almost in a certain way. Like the coffee additions and so forth, and the different type of blending with the Qahwa, so I give this personally a 9. And then at the end of the day, the Dukhan is an 8.5 for me. I enjoy it, but it's not my favorite, but I do like it a little bit more than the original. So again, you don't need to have them all. It would be kind of silly, but it's not completely redundant if you just like them that much. They have differences that you can notice, but at the end of the day, try things for yourself. Don't just hold on to stuff just to have them. But I do think these were made pretty well, as much as I like to bag on cheaper fragrances and dupe houses and stuff like that all the time. So you can't always be a little negative Nancy, and I'm trying not to do that here because I do like these. So not my style, but I think they're great. And also good for gifts as well. So for somebody who wants something a little bit different instead of your typical, Sauvage type stuff, which I also like, but you get what I'm saying. So again, I'm Douglas Moon. Thank you for coming through. If you've watched this long, I appreciate the fact that I know this was a longer video than I usually like to do, but I just wanted to kind of go through these and try something a little bit different. And also, like I said, nobody sponsors me or sends me these. I just buy stuff and review things that either you want me to check out or that I really am interested in. And I'm not one of those top 10 this or that channels. I just try to keep it honest and straight and tell you how I feel, but remember, again, it's subjective. So thanks for watching this far. Again, Douglas Moon. Check out more of my reviews. Hit the subscribe button if you like to come to the live streams or just watch more videos, and go check out my other review videos. And I appreciate you guys. Tell me in the comments below what you think. Tell me your favorite fragrances or what you'd like to see me review next. I'll catch you next time.